Hey guys, it's Dorian. Today is December 22nd, 2011, Thursday, which makes tomorrow my 15th week auntie. Woo. Or, in other terms, 3 months and 3 weeks. So, that's pretty cool. I know that it's been almost a month, I think, since I made my last video. I got actually pretty busy with sort of the end of school coming up and finals and work and whatnot, so I wasn't able to make a video for a couple weeks. But then when I was in the middle of recording the new one, my computer started to smoke just out the side. And so when I moved the computer to see what was going on, the screen then went white on me and freaked out, and then the computer wouldn't turn on. So obviously I had to ship it away to California to get fixed for a little bit. But now, as you can see, it is back. And so here I am recording another video. Yay! But anyways, so 3 months, 3 weeks, that's pretty awesome. In terms of changes, as you can tell from my previous videos, my voice has dropped a good bit over the past couple weeks. Not a whole lot difference in like leg hair, but I've noticed that my arm hair is getting thicker. It's always been really light, so it's not really that noticeable, but to me, I can tell that there's just more of it. My stash hair, I think you can almost actually tell in the light, it's getting pretty darn thick, and my beard and chin hair are continuing to get longer and thicker, so it almost looks in certain light like I have just a blonde beard, which is pretty weird, because it's still very light and peach fuzz colored, but it's getting like thick enough to where it just looks like I have brown hair and a blonde beard. It's pretty weird. But also, my happy trail is starting to get really defined and really evident, which is pretty weird for me, because I've never had any real stomach hair before. I didn't really have any noticeable hair on my stomach, but now I do, and so that's been kind of an experience to know that I'm gonna have a happy trail. Pretty cool. Not a lot else has changed. I haven't really noticed a change in, I read that a lot of the time T-guys, their libido or sex drive can increase, but mine was pretty high before, so if it were to increase anymore, I don't know what I would do, especially since I'm single at this moment. That would suck pretty bad. But I've also, I guess I should say, I had a doctor's appointment earlier this week on Monday to get the results for some blood work that I did, and everything looks fine. Yay. Except for my triglycerides level, which is like the bad cholesterol, but that doesn't have anything to do with the tea that I'm taking. That's just because over the past month and a half I've been eating really unhealthily, and actually more than I normally do eat, which also, I don't know if you can't really tell too much, but I have like this double chin action going on. It's pretty gross, and my gut's getting pretty big, so I put on like almost 15 pounds over these 3 months, which is pretty disgusting. So that kind of, when I explained that to my doctor, she said that makes sense why my triglyceride level would be raised. So good news, I'm pretty healthy except for the weight gain, and if I just exercise a bit and eat less, then smooth sailing. So I guess that should be it in terms of changes. The weight gain has kind of inhibited my ability to notice if there's been any weight shifting, but otherwise, my shoulders are the same. I don't know if my face got any more angular, but c'est la vie. So I guess my topic that I was discussing in my last video before my laptop decided to crap out on me was how trans people are talked about in the media and in articles, because normally I'm not really a fan of reading about or watching videos of trans people, purely because most cisgendered people have no problem talking about the transgendered individual with the proper pronouns and talking about them, as they are, like the boy or girl that they really are, in the present and post them disclosing that they're transgendered. But once they talk about the person beforehand, they immediately switch back to the improper pronouns and they talk about them, with their former name and whatnot, and that just really bugs me. For example, Chaz Bono. It's really cool that, everybody took it in stride and they really talk about Chaz as the dude that he is, except when they go back and talk about the Sonny and Cher show, and like when Chaz was a little boy, they talk about chastity and a little girl, and when they talk about Chaz in high school, they use female pronouns, and it just really, it bugs me. I couldn't argue if they were to say that Chaz was a physically female teenage boy. I can, that's fact. It's just part of who he is. But it just bugs me when they talk about, trans women as, born a man, or when you were, Joe or Jack or whoever, and then they talk about trans men the same way. Which is why I was actually really pleased to read about Vandy Beth Glenn. A couple weeks ago, she won a case that stated she was unjustly fired from her job simply for being who she is, and making, I guess, her boss uncomfortable because he doesn't like trans people. But it was really cool because in several of the articles that I read discussing Miss Glenn, they, regardless of whether they were talking about her pre-transition or post-transition, they used female pronouns, and they used her real name, Vandy, and it was just completely respectful and completely accurate, and that was really cool. And so I hope that will eventually become the norm, that this trend will catch on as people become more and more accustomed to seeing cisgendered and transgendered people in the media. I know I had another topic to talk about, but I can't remember it for the life of me. So seeing as this is pretty long, I'm gonna get out of here. But before I go, I just wanted to say, seeing as it's the holiday season, happy holidays to everybody, regardless of what you're celebrating or who you're celebrating it with. I hope that your next week is lovely and full of great memories. And happy eating to everybody. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna go play some Zelda. Peace out.